Well, how did that one show sort of like manifest? Were you just like interviewing John or interviewing Gene and you guys got that together? Or what was the process with that?
So with that one, we had let's see. So I had John on my show la February of no January of 2020. So right before the world went into chaos.
For sure.
And I had actually funny enough, I had John on Monday, and I
Right.
flew to California to do my episode with Michael Franzese on Friday.
Mhm.
So I had those two those two mobsters in the span of a week. And so I had John on that Monday, early January 2020. And him and I mean, at the time, it actually came together very quickly. I had seen his interview on Valuetainment, so a very big interview, I think 6-7 million views on that. And I
Right.
was like, okay, this guy seems, this is very interesting. I hit up his agent. We basically made it happen in like 24 hours, and came to the studio, met him. We had a great episode.
Right.
And then he had recommended like that Gene, if I wanted to get Gene, I could have Gene on my show. So I was like, all right, you know what, let's do it. Then I had Gene, and I was Gene's actually first interview when he got out of jail that time. Um, and so then a couple months went by. I didn't really talk to John all that much in that time, but then basically I think it was like May of 2020. I was actually watching UFC, and he calls me like 10 o'clock, and he was like, "Hey, like me and Gene just started the show. If you wanted to, I don't know how he said it at first, but like if you want to like come in and host or manage or whatever." And so for me at the time, I'm like, all right, is this what I want to do? Like these are two former mobsters, like, and I was always fascinated by like the mafia, but I wasn't sure like, is this the right thing for me? And so then I thought about it a little, but then for me, it was like, first I knew the show was going to take off because a lot of people are interested in them. And I think the Mafia is just very interesting, period. It would be a great platform for me. And it would also be, I knew it was going to be like really kind of a once in a lifetime experience because these are a dying breed of people, really. So, it could be a good way to like kind of cross promote myself, but also, learn more about something that I've always been interested in, and also their show is really, heavily targeted around trying to stray away like at-risk youth from joining lives of crime, because John and Gene, I can really speak on it, are really not about that life anymore. And the only reason why Gene's back is because of some other thing. I'll let people look that up, or I can talk about it after. But so it had a good message behind it. It was really a once in a lifetime kind of experience and opportunity. And I was also going to become a part owner of that show. So that was also cool. And, just all around, it was like, all right, you know what, like, why not? Like, I don't really see, if people are going to say, oh, well, why are you associating with those people? Then they haven't done the research enough in terms of like why I'm there and why they brought me in and what that show's about. So, yeah,
It's an amazing experience, I bet, though. Like,
it's like, I mean, it's been, it's really been like probably one of the most unreal experiences in my life. Like I go to college, and then I drive back to New York, I do my show, and then I go and hang out with John Gotti's former right-hand man, who John has really become like, I don't want to say fatherly figure, even though he'll refer to me sometimes as like a son figure.
but
But in a lot of ways, yes. And in a lot of ways, it's weird because people who might look him up will be like, well, he's like a murderer. And like, yes, that is true, that's what he did in his past. But when you understand the life of what they lived and growing up in just crime filled neighborhoods, and that was their only real route. And, it was basically like kill or be killed mentality. So at that point, it wasn't really their choice. And then, John now, I mean, now he's like this big, kind of like teddy bear almost.
yeah,
So I only know this John, I don't know the guy who, was constantly trying to, had people trying to kill him or hurt him and vice versa. So again, it's a very complex thing, but I've gotten to, and it's really cool just to, because I feel like whenever I'm with him, I'm kind of part of like this history of people that's no longer really there. It's kind of
it still exists. It's
no,
super low key. Nobody really knows about it. I mean, I feel like the Mafia still exists, like low key, but I
it
mean,
still exists, but like it's not what it used to be in the slightest. Like they have no power, and it's really because technology that it just makes it impossible because there's too many cameras, there's too many
sure.
things like that. And if you know John now, I mean he's literally like so like anti-crime and so like really about stopping these kids that have unfortunately grown up in the places that they did, and that's really like the first thing they turn to. But
Right.
he's all about talking against that, and hopefully I mean he does so many of these talks, and I know all these people that hit him up on Instagram and Facebook and whatever and ask him for advice on how to stay away. And so that's been really cool to see because I also get some of those messages, and it's been good to see.